His Rickshaw challenge for Pudsey, yes, not this Friday, next Friday. Big. And one of the big things that happens every year, which is very emotional, is the Rickshaw challenge done by Matt Baker on the One Show on BBC Run. Well, this year they have launched it today with a new route, a new team and a newly modified rickshaw. They're announcing it on the One Show, and the annual challenge is now in its 9th year, and Matt's done all of them. Sees a team of 6 young people, and the One Show's Matt Baker taking on that 8-day challenge. It begins on Friday the 8th in Holyhead, and I caught up with him.
What you do know is that these youngsters are going to have probably the best week of their lives. You know, they've faced so many challenges in the past. Nothing compares to what they've gone through. This cycle ride is purely a celebration and a thank you of all of the help and support that they've benefited from over the years. And they're doing this so that all of those youngsters who are now in the position that they used to be in are going to make, you know, they're going to get that help. They're going to get that support. And for that reason, there's nothing better to do. There's no better way of saying thank you than to be able to talk about all of that help, what a difference it's made to their lives and the lives of those, and their families and what have you. And that's why I do it, just to watch them grow and to feel that love and to sense all of that support from Britain as we cycle through. We've got 400 miles of support that we're going to cycle past. And so for me, I'm really excited. I don't get nervous for this because I kind of know that they're going to feel a lot of love, and I know what a difference that's going to make to them, and I know that they're all going to grow in confidence after this week, and they're going to approach adulthood in the best way possible.
So before we talk about the young people, take me back to that original rickshaw. Was it like a tank compared to the one now?
It was. Yeah, it was like a scaffolding rig. You know, the types that are outside theatres to sort of take people to restaurants and this, that and the other. All designed for sort of a 100-metre ride, really. Not to kind of go through the middle of the UK. But yeah, gosh, I set off from Edinburgh Castle 9 years ago and cycled all the way down to London. And you know, we had no idea what on earth we were going to be faced with. I was about 54 miles in when I suddenly thought, this is absolute agony. This is awful. How am I going to do it? And I was like doing 16 hours a day on that thing to try and get it to, because it was just so heavy to try and get it down to London. It happened. We raised loads of money. And then in that second year, I thought to myself, do you know what? This isn't about celebrities doing things on TV. This is about the youngsters that really benefited from children in need in the past. And I thought, is it possible to come up with a relay team that could, do this in stints? And we came, we thought, right, let's give it a go, see what happens. And it's just gone from strength to strength. And it's strangely, it's become a big part of children in need. And people really look forward to the kind of the week on the, and the run up. It's not just about the night now. It's all about the kind of the week's run up to it.
And it's all about the young people and these.
Yes.
Why do you always have these challenging hills for them? You're not, you're going to Wales this time.
Because that's what makes the money come in.
Of course it is.
Listen, them included, nobody wants an easy ride on this.
Are you sure?
We make sure that we do it very gently and we do it calmly and we do it bit by bit by bit. And we do it their way, and that's the key. And, talking of those inspirational young riders, this year we've got a totally blind rider on board in the shape of Kelsey, and it's only possible because of McLaren. I mean, they're brilliant. So when they're not designing their Formula One race cars, they're designing rickshaws, and they've made it possible this year we've got one of these like recumbent bikes. I don't know if you've ever seen one. Basically, you're sitting on the ground pedaling and you're quite close to the ground. So what we basically, we take the front wheel off the rickshaw and then we attach it to this recumbent bike, so I can pedal and steer from the little contraption at the front, and then Kelsey is on the back then pedaling the bulk of the rickshaw. So that's Kelsey. He's incredible. He goes to college, doesn't hold him back at all. He was born blind in one eye, and then when he was 5 years old, he got cancer in the other eye and then had to have that removed. And so he's been totally blind since he was 5 years old. We've got Adele, who has managed to get through leukemia. It's a heartbreaking story. Her best friend died from exactly the same condition before she got her leukemia. And so she knew exactly what was going to happen to her. She knew exactly what kind of treatment she was going to face because of everything that her best friend had gone through.
Yeah.
And so, she tells, it is incredibly heartbreaking. We've got Thomas, who has cerebral palsy, but he's a real sporty young lad. So we're going to really benefit from his strength and conditioning in that way. We've got Uche, who's a knife crime victim. Emma, who was born with most of her organs on the wrong side of her body, then had all sorts of transplants as a baby. And then 2 years ago, she had a brain seizure and then had to learn to walk again. I mean, honestly, these youngsters, when I say that these hills are nothing in comparison to what they've been through in their lives, it's totally, totally true.
Well, it's no wonder you've raised over £25 million over the years, Matt, and looking to raise a huge amount this year, obviously.
Yeah, we are. And do you know what? We've got incredible help from Sir Tom Hunter and the Hunter Foundation this year. And I actually couldn't believe it when he told me what he wanted to do. And basically, for every £1 that's donated this year to the Rickshaw Challenge, the Hunter Foundation is going to donate 40p on top of that. So they're going to donate another 40%
Incredible.
on what is donated from the public. And so, if you're going to pop a tenner in the pot, then it's going to turn into £14. So, I mean, you know what? We couldn't ask for more than that. It just goes to show what these youngsters do, and what a chord that they strike with those of us in Britain who are donating. And that's why I love it. I couldn't not do it now, knowing the difference it makes. And yeah, it might be slightly uncomfortable for me on a saddle for a week, but you know what? If that's the worst it's going to be, then I'm all right with that.
Isn't he lovely? That's Matt Baker there on that Rickshaw Challenge. I cannot imagine all those hills those kids have got to do on the way. 8-day challenge to get to Broadcasting House, isn't it, in the centre of London. Go, guys, you can do it.